Hi guys, today is 20th July and this is the third elimination technique. We are having the live classes for the free course. Today we are going to do a technique called would have heard. This is the third technique. We have done two other basic level techniques in this course so far. The first technique is related, not related, RNR, and the second one is names have meaning. There's no particular order of these techniques. You can do any of these, including today's would have heard, in any order. So it doesn't really matter, but these are the basic level techniques. And then we have some advanced level techniques also. We are going to look at them one after the other. So today's technique is called would have heard, acronymed WHH. Please open your notebooks and write down what it means. I'll just tell you, I'll speak when you are ready. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. All right. All right. So please note down would have heard in brackets, write WHH. Okay. And what does it mean? The phrase itself is very self-explanatory, would have heard. So we are here talking about something which in the course of your preparation, if you have been preparing fairly seriously, sincerely for this exam, you would have heard about whatever fact the statement is talking about, right? So this automatically means that what is given in your standard books is extremely important, because that gives you an idea about what kind of information, in what way that information is given, what are the dimensions of that information which are given in your standard books, right? So if something is mentioned in, for example, class 12th geography book or polity book or whatever, multiple subjects relevant for our exam purpose are there. So whatever is mentioned in those books, that is something which is surely to be known to all of you, right? So even if it is class 12th biology book, you're supposed to read that book, not the very technical stuff, but the general, more general level stuff, words, meanings, definitions, right? All of those environment related things also are there, some chapters are there. So the basic level stuff is certainly something that at this exam level, at graduate level, we are supposed to know, we are supposed to prepare for this exam, right? So whatever information is given in our NCERT, in our standard reference books, is the standard information, the information which you are supposed to know, the information which UPSC has every right to ask very factually, to quiz you on the facts of that information, right? So that is the standard fact, that is the standard information which you are supposed to know. So when you read these books, and this is why you must not read 10 books one time, you should read one book 10 times, right? So limit your books to just NCERTs and one reference book only when needed. You don't have to read every reference book for every subject. Like for every subject, one reference book, it's not mandatory to read. You should read it only where the NCERTs are not giving you the required information. Okay, so at least from prelims angle, at least from ET angle, this works. Okay, so when you read something multiple times, you will get that idea about what is the level of facts, what is the degree of facts which are mentioned in your NCERT, what kind of facts are mentioned in your NCERT, and this will give you a hint about what is being stated in the question in the exam. So of course, this deals with non-standard information. This deals with it is ET, it is an elimination technique. So we are in this case in the exam dealing with non-standard question, but the degree of that statement, the importance of the content given in that statement, whether it is would have heard or not, right? This you will be able to decide much more accurately if you know what is there in your NCERTs and standard reference books, basic current affairs, right? So this is the background, the theoretical background of would have heard technique. So I'll just compile everything up once again. So would have heard technique is applicable in those non-standard fact questions where the information is of extremely important level. We are not talking about random information here. We are talking about seemingly important information. Okay, we are going to see multiple such questions from 2023 paper itself, series A paper, and this is going to solidify our understanding of this theory. But as of now, you just write in your description of the technique that we are dealing with extremely important oblique seemingly important information which you feel that every aspirant or every generally educated graduate Indian should know wali baat hai. So that is why the stress is on would have heard. So if you, because that information is so important, you would have heard about it. If you have not heard, right, then that information is wrong. You should not doubt that somewhere you have not prepared, that's why you have not heard. If you are having that doubt, that means your preparation is lacking, right? So for example, if I say Gondwana is known for coal reserves, right? So Gondwana is a kind of rock formation, and those are certainly important for coal reserves. It is in the Chota Nagpur belt region, right? So this is a very important standard fact level information which is given in your books also. Now consider another statement. If I say Gondwana is known for crude oil reserves, right? Crude oil is a very important natural resource. Gondwana is a very famous geological formation which is there in our books. So if this statement were correct, then certainly it will be there in our standard books, right? Gondwana is famous for crude oil. If this were correct, then surely it will be there in the standard books, because if the standard books are mentioning about coal, which is an extremely important resource, they will also mention about crude oil, because that also is an extremely important natural resource, right? So this is where the would have heard, this is how the would have heard technique works. It works in the static part also, the static subject related statements. It works in the current affairs related statements also. So guys, do you get the theory of would have heard? Gondwana is famous for coal will be an incorrect statement, because if it were correct, you would have heard about it because you have been studying seriously and sincerely for this exam. If you feel that it could be a correct statement, I have not read it, then your preparation requires some strengthening, right? So should I move to the more practical questions, the real questions of 2023 paper? All right.